Okay, this is 1-4 son. We're going to be solving linear equations, solving for x. Okay, so split the paper. So you got workspace. Okay, now the first problem is x minus 4 equals negative 16. We got to find what x equals. Well, x isn't to any power, so we don't have to worry about labeling a, b, c, or any of that stuff, okay? We got to solve for plain old x. A couple things I want to do. If x doesn't have a coefficient, I put a 1, and I'm going to dot and circle. I'm going to put a dot between the 1 and the x because it means 1 times x, and I'm going to circle it. Now, a minus, I'm going to make this plus negative. So we have this negative 4 outside of the 1 times x that we have to get rid of. So how would you get a negative 4 to 0? Well, you'd add 4. Line up your equals. You have 1 dot x. Negative 16, and what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. On the other side of the equation, balancing. A simple topic. Negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12, and if the multiplication is a 1, you can just get rid of it, okay? And you have your answer. Negative 12. Okay, next one. Negative x divided by 10 equals 4. Put a 1. There's no minus signs in that problem. I put a dot and I have circled it. Now I have to get rid of this divided by 10. How would I do that? Okay, well, I'm actually going to multiply the other side by 10, and that gets rid of it. So 4 times 10, because the opposite of divides multiplies, so that's 40, negative 1 dot x. Now we have to eliminate our coefficient because it's not just 1, it's negative 1. So we need to then divide both sides by negative 1. Which 40 divided by negative 1 is negative 40. So if you have something under the variable, that means divided by, so you're going to have to multiply. Negative 3x equals 27. Coefficient's a negative 3. And the only operation I have is the times negative 3. So the opposite of times negative 3 is divide by negative 3. So divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, and x equals negative 9. Okay. Next one, negative 27 plus 6y equals 3 times quantity y minus 3. Well, first off, you need to get rid of the, you can go plus negative if you want, but you're going to have to, in ones, you have to distribute before you worry about your operations. So 3 times 1y is 3y, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and over here you have the negative 27 plus 6y. Now we have two variables. We have a 6 times y and a 3 times y. Now when you have more than one variable, you need to look at each side of the equation. Can you combine those? Nope, because that has a y, that doesn't. Same thing here. That has a y, that doesn't. So you can't combine like terms. Now you take the smaller of the two and get it to 0. So minus 3y because it's positive, and minus 3y from 6. So over here, that's now going to give us 3y plus negative 27. And over here, we have our negative 9. So we have 3 times y. So outside of the times operation, we have plus negative 27. Well, how would you get a negative 27 to 0? How would you eliminate it? Well, you'd add 27. To get a negative 0, you simply add the number, plus 27. And that gives us 3 times y. Negative 9 plus 27 is 18. Then we divide by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So y is equal to 6 in that equation. Okay, I got 2, and then x plus 4 equals 8. So you need to apply, again, put the 1. There's no minuses, so apply the distributive property. 2 times 1x is 2x, 2 times 4 is 8, equals 8. So you have x multiplied by 2. Now outside of that, on this side, you have a plus 8. How would you get an 8 to 0? Well, you'd subtract 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. And then you're going to divide by 2. and 0 divided by 2 is 0. You can get 0 for an answer. Okay, next one, we have 5 parentheses 2 minus x equals 0. So put the 1 in front plus negative and then distribute. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times negative 1x is negative 5x equals 0. So here's my x multiplied by negative 5. I like to circle that. Dot and circle. Now you have this 10, a plus 10 out, positive 10 outside. You have to get that to 0. You need to subtract 10. So 0 minus 10 is negative 10. Negative 5 times x. Then the last step, do the opposite of times negative 5 is divide by negative 5. Negative 10 divided by negative 5 is 2, positive 2. Okay, next one, we have 5x minus 9 equals 8 minus 2x plus negative. So again, we have these two x's here in the problem. I can't have two of them, okay? So I look on this side of the equals, and that has an x, that doesn't, so I can't combine anything there. That has an x, that doesn't, can't combine anything here, so my next step is get rid of the smaller x, get it to 0. So the opposite of, to get a negative 2x to 0, you'd add 2x, and then I'd go add 2x to its like term, the 5x, so that's going to be 7x plus negative 9 equals 8. So I have 7 times x on this side of the equation. We got to get that constant negative 9 to a 0 by adding 9. Apply the addition property of equality. So that's 17. 9 plus 8 is, and divide by 7. Now if I divide 17 by 7, I get a sloppy answer. I'm just going to then put 17 over 7 as my answer. You can also go 2 3/7 or the Okay, next one's kind of a long one. 6x minus 12 plus 2x equals 3 plus 8x minus 15. So the x's are good, plus negative, meaning I don't have to put any ones. Now, so we got a 6 times x, a 2 times x, and an 8 times x. So we got multiple x's in the same equation, so we check each side. Now over here I can simplify, because I can add the two x's. And over here I can simplify because I can add the two constants. So 6x plus 2x is 8x plus negative 12. And then I've got 3 plus negative 15 is negative 12 plus 8x. Okay. So now my sides are simplified. Now there's no smaller term that I would get rid of because they're exactly the same, the 8x and the 8x. We'll scribble them out then if they're exactly the same. And then this becomes either an all solution or a no solution. Are these numbers the same that I ended up with? They are. So that's all solutions. If they are different numbers, it is no solution. That means x can be any number and that equation is going to equal out on each side. You plug any number in for x here, 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 and this side will equal this side. Doesn't matter which one. Next one. We have 12 minus 3 and then 2x plus 1 in parentheses equals 7x minus 3, 7 plus x in parentheses. So fix your minuses, plus negative, put the 1 in front of that x so it has a coefficient. And then we need to apply our distributive property. Okay, so negative 3. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. And then negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Now we also have this 12 we have to add before the equal sign. Now over here, negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Negative 3 times 1x is negative 3x. And we have to add the 7x. Okay, now where do we have for x's? Well, we have a times negative 6, a negative 3, and a 7. That's me putting dots here. So I have multiple x's. I can combine those two. and then I can combine the two x's on that side, okay? So what we have then is line up your equals. Negative 3 plus 12 is 9 plus negative 6x. Negative 3 plus 7 is 4x plus negative 21. Okay, now we're down to just the two x's on opposite sides, so eliminate your smaller one, balance it, get a negative 6x to 0, you'd add 6x, and you'd add 6x to 4x. So that's 10x minus 21, or plus negative 21. And over here you got 9. So here's my x with a 10. It's on that side of the equation. So I need to get rid of the negative 21. I add 21. Add 21. 9 plus 21 is 30. Then 10 dot x. Then divide by 10. Divide by 10. And 30 divided by 10 is 3. So x equals 3. 3 equals x. Whatever, however you want to write it. Okay. Okay, next one we have 2, 5x plus 4 equals 10x plus 6. So first, again, your x's have coefficients. You don't have any minuses, so go distribute. It's 10x plus 8 equals 10x plus 6. Okay, so I have 10x, 10 times x, and 10 times x. Okay. I don't have anything I can combine on that side, nothing on that side. That's what I'm doing when I draw that little V. Okay. So nothing I can combine. So pick your smaller x. But they're the same, so then we're allowed to then eliminate it. And it becomes either all solution or no solution. Well, 8 and 6 are different numbers, so that's a no solution. Okay. Now I'm going to turn. You want to turn now for the story problems. You just need to go like this. We're going to do 2 on each page. 2 planes leave the airport at the same time and travel in the same direction. One plane travels 600 miles per hour while the other plane travels 660 miles per hour. When will the 2 planes be 1,200 miles apart? So we're finding the hours. Hours equals. So put down at the bottom, hours equals. Now when you're talking about speed, like miles per hour, you're going to want to make a table. Okay? Split it in half and then make 3 columns. And then put car 1, plane 1, plane 2. Plane 1, plane 2. Here you're going to label this speed. You're going to label this distance. And you're going to label this time. So the speeds are well spelled out. One goes 600. The other goes 660. 660. It's a 660. What do you know about the distance? You don't know the distance, how many miles either plane went. But what you do know is they're going to be 1,200 miles apart. So in this whole thing, I'm going to put 1,200 miles apart, and also put that they're going in the same direction. That's important. Sometimes they go in opposite directions, but same directions. Okay, the time. The only thing you know about the time is they traveled for equal times. Okay? So that's how your table should look. The speeds, and then put how many miles apart and what same direction. They're traveling in the same direction. Now, writing an equation for the same direction is easy. You're going to put the 1,200 here, and if they're the same direction, you're going to subtract. You're going to take your highest one first, 660x. You put x on the speed, miles per hour, okay? Actually put x and x on the speeds. Just do it, okay? You're going to subtract the lesser speed. Now, if they were going in opposite directions, you would plus them instead of minusing them, okay? But we put a minus because they're the same direction. Okay, so minus, well, plus negative. Got these two x's here. And these are on the same side, so I can go ahead and combine those. 660 and negative 600 is 60x equals 1200. Then I divide by 60, divide by 60, and x is 20. Okay, so 20 hours. So let's say set that up. Put the speeds with the x's. Those need a variables because it's per hour. We don't know how many hours. So 600x, 660x. Okay, distance 1200 miles apart, same direction. Remember, opposite directions, you would start with an addition sign. Okay. All right, the next problem. There are two classes. One class has 19 more students than the other class. If there are 53 students in two classes combined, how many students are in each class? So those are the two answers. I want to know the students in class 1 and the students in class 2. Two answers. Now, you're not talking about speed, but you're talking about two classes. You know the total. So you're going to make just one little box with 3 columns. And you're not going to put anything over there. You're going to put class 1, class 2, and then total. Well, we know the total's 53. There's 53 students. What we don't know is how many are in each class. That's the answer to the problem. But we know so we don't know how many are in either class. But we know that one class has 19 more than the other. So put a plus 19 with one of your x's. And you have your equation. X plus 19 equals 53. Okay, so I got ones. Now here's one side of the equation. I can combine those. That makes 2x. So I have x multiplied by 2. Circle it. Get rid of your plus 19 by minusing 19. 53 minus 19 is 36. So 2.x equals 36. So divide by 2 then, and x equals 18. So one of the classes has 18 students. Now the other class is easy to figure out. So if you know that x is 18, 18 plus 19 is 37. So 37 in the second class. So that's how you're going to format those types of problems. Okay, now you get into problems we haven't really done before. You did them in geometry if you took it. Yeah, you're going to go just like that. The length of a rectangle is, okay, is means equals. So you're going to put L equals 2 less than the width. So you're going to put W, and 2 less means minus 2. So have that equation there. You're going to use it later. The perimeter is 28 inches. Find the length and the width. So we got to know the length and the width. Now I want you to draw a rectangle. I want you to put L, L, W, W. Now perimeter is adding up all the sides. We know the perimeter is 28 inches. Now there are 2 L sides, 2 L and 2 W sides. Now what you are going to do then, since the L is all by itself, you're going to parenthesize the L, cross it out, and replace it with the expression W minus 2. So now you have your equation. You have 2 parentheses W minus 2 plus 2W, 2 plus the 2W equals 28. 1 plus negative distribute. It's going to be 2W plus negative 4 plus the second 2W equals 28. Okay, now you have your 2 times W, 2 times W. Look at this side, you can combine the W's. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 times 4W plus negative 4 equals 28. Now you have 4 times W. Circle that. Get your negative 4 to a 0 by adding 4. That's 32. So 4.W equals 32. Then divide by 4. And W equals 8. So the width is 8. Now to find the length, it's easy, okay? W is 8, Okay, so 8 minus 2, 6. You just minus 2 from it. Okay, next problem. I'm going to do 2 more like that. The width of a rectangle is stands for equals, so width now goes over here because it comes 4 more than, I screwed that up, it's 4 more than the length. Okay, let's just say length. So put L, 4 more means plus 4. So again, we're going to have the same scenario where we have LL, WW. If I add up all the sides, now the perimeter is 48. So that's 2 L's, adding 2 L's plus 2 W's. But now it's the W that I replace with L plus 4, so I get rid of W and put L plus 4. So now it's L. So you're finding the length and the width. So you have 2L plus 2 parentheses L plus 4 equals 48. Put the 1 there. Line up the equation and then distribute. 2 times 1L is 2L. 2 times 4 is 8. And then add that 2L that's at the beginning. Okay, so here are my variables. L times 2 times 2. They're on the same side, so I combine the like terms by adding. Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 dot L plus 8 equals 48. Okay, so you have 4 times L, get the 8 out of there, you minus 8, and that's 40. So 4 dot L equals 40, then divide by 4, and L equals 10. So the length equals 10. Now about the width? Well, the width is 4 more, so we just take 10 there and add 4, which is 14. Okay. Last example. The length of a rectangle is, length goes first, because that's before is, 3 less than the width. So width, 3 less, so that'd be minus 3. Perimeter is 42 inches. Find the length and width. So by now we know we can write an equation, 42, 2L plus 2W, because you're adding all the sides. There are 2 lengths and 2 widths. Now the length now, L, gets replaced with the expression W minus 3. So we have 2 parentheses W minus 3 plus 2W equals 42. Plus negative, and then distribute. Gives you 2W plus negative 6 plus the second 2W. Now we have 2W variables, so check each side. Here's just a 42. Here you got 2W, and negative 6. I think we can add the 2 W's. So that's 4W plus negative 6 equals 42. Okay. Multiply by 4, add 6. It's 48. Then divide by 4, and that's 12. Okay. So W equals 12. The length, 12 minus 3 is 9.